Hi everyone, let's talk about Tekkenu, which I just did a full solo playthrough for. If you'd like to see it in action, you can see that linked in the description or up in the corner. So yeah, what do I think? I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love it, and I would be surprised if it doesn't make my top 10 of the year. And quite excited, because that means that there would be 10 games better. But yes, if you'd like some context to that, then stick around. I'm absolutely drawn by both of the designers. Daniele Tascini has done fantastic Euro games in the past, Tzolk'in and Teotihuacan at the forefront of my mind, and David Turczi kind of does all sorts of different games, from the real-time cooperative games that are some of my favorites like Kitchen Rush and Rush MD, to the crunchy Euros like Anachrony, to fun, fast little games like Pocket Dragon. But anyway, so those two coming together was very exciting to see, and they produced something absolutely fantastic. The dice drafting, for a start, I like the kind of the thematic pull of, the sun is hitting this obelisk, and depending on whether the dice are in the shade or not, regardless of whether you are bothered about the theme itself, the fact that it's dice drafting, and it's not just the other players that are having an effect on what's available. It's, every time we take two dice, this is going to turn, and the dice will shift rows from being pure or tainted and forbidden. So if dice become forbidden, you usually can't draft them. There are a few ways around that, but usually they are off limits. And then the pure and tainted are great for, there's so many things pulling you in all sorts of directions for your decision. It's, the action that you want to take. It's the value of the die that's going to affect the action, or it's the color of the die that is going to affect the action. It's whether it's pure or tainted, and what you have already taken or what you are going to take that will affect the balance on your player board that you might or might not be bothered about. Is turn order going to be massively important to you? Is losing points? It's not a lot of points to lose. Sometimes the benefits of taking really powerful dice that are really going to offset your balance can, the rewards from that can massively offset the penalties for being really out of balance. You're probably going to be low in turn order if you've really got out of balance. But then on the other hand, if you've got really out of balance with pure dice, that doesn't negatively affect you other than the turn order. It doesn't make you lose any points. So that can be worth going for, but it's always something that you bear in mind, and you can get all sorts of things like the faith tokens to adjust the balance, and the scribe tokens to adjust the dice themselves, up or down by 2, and then spend 2 to do an Anubis action, which is take 1 from anywhere, and even the forbidden dice, and do any action with it. So there are loads of ways to get what you want. It's dice and dice rolls, but not only are we drafting them, there are a lot of ways round the actual drafting system, and you have to be aware of when new dice are going to come out. They're only going to come out in the shaded section, so you be aware of when this turns, what's going to be shaded, what new opportunities are going to be, should I wait, or in the same vein, are the dice that I am just holding out for the next turn, are they suddenly going to shift to forbidden, and I'm not going to get to do that thing now? You really have to be aware of what is going to happen with it. And I will say, for as much as I love the touch of the obelisk, it does. I don't like looking around it all the time, and I do have to admit that I kind of play it without. Sacrilegious as that may be, but yeah, it's lovely for, like loads of great Euros, like Vital Lacerda's games, like Teotihuacan. There are all of these different sections that are all interlinked, are all intermingled, and going in one will get you benefits in another in some way. In that, putting the statues out, it will either get you benefits for different actions, or it will help you with the majorities over in the workshops, or it will help you get a load of points out in the temple. Getting the cards will affect loads of different facets of the games. And the ways that you can go in it, you can win this by, you need to focus on some of the parts, but yeah, you can completely disregard the temple. You can completely disregard getting cards and still do well in it. It just depends on what the other people are doing and what is going to benefit your situation the most, because you're always going to start off with a decree. And maybe it's just going to be resources and producing loads of stuff that's going to benefit you, and then being able to put loads of statues out and buildings from being able to produce so much stuff. Or maybe you're just going to end up with this great big tableau of technology cards that basically affect every action, that will give you points no matter what you do and let you bend the rules and treat forbidden dice if they were pure or tainted. I haven't seen that before this playthrough game. I'm really excited by trying to get that in the future. Yeah, it just all works beautifully. I'd say one minor thing, and this is nitpicking, is that the actual art, it works beautifully, Egyptian themed, but the game board just on its own, it does look, it's muted colors. It can look a little bit drab, but to balance that out, the player colors being these, quite vibrant, bright colors, do, as soon as people start putting pieces on the board, that is balanced out straight away. But yeah, I pretty much just love everything about this. It's another little minus, the player aid that comes with the game. It's nice. It does describe some stuff. It's good at reminding you where the dice need to go, especially if you've got this thing. You can have it on the side that's reminding you where the dice need to go, or you can have it in the more thematic blank side. And it gives you, a quick one-sentence rundown of what each god action does. But the player aid that I mentioned in the playthrough, I forget the user's name right now, that's made by a user, it's Victor, on Board Game Geek, is much more like the Eagle Gryphon Vital Lacerda games. They have these great big player aids, but they describe, just in bullet points, step by step, how to go through these actions, which, not that the actions are particularly complicated in what they're doing, but just to make sure that you're not missing any of these steps, because they're all vital. And so I definitely recommend that, just to make sure that you're not missing anything, and as a really easy two-sided reference to what all of these things are doing. But they are very minor things. For the main, I think it's absolutely fantastic. The solo mode too, David is very, very well versed in solo now, and with Nick Shaw has come up with the Bodden Carmoon. It's got some similarities. Well, I guess the only similarity with the Teo T-Bot is just that the things are in a pyramid. It's a lot simpler this time around. You can get the gist of what the bot is going to do based on how you would do the actions. He skips resources and both earning them and having to pay for them, and will usually just do the thing that benefits him the most. He will take the best die and use the thing to benefit him the most. And turn order is still an important factor in the solo game, because you do get a kind of an indication of what he's going to do for his first action. If you can go first in a round, you know what his first action is going to be, and you have a 50-50 shot at knowing what his action after that is going to be. And so that can give you a bit more of a picture. Not that you can do too much about it, and he does have his ways to consistently get in your way and make it so that he's got a load of statues out, so everything you're doing is a benefit to him. Well, only in a little way, but still. And there's difficulty levels as well, in that you can just start out where he's just got one statue out on the board and nothing else, or the medium that I played, where he's got a couple of workshops and a pillar right in the middle in the best spot to stop you getting the rushing and getting a building out and getting a load of resources, including gold. He's and then there's a hard difficulty that's normal is about my level at the moment. I'll work my way up there eventually, but yeah, it's still great to be able to play it solo, but also to have an engaging, interesting opponent that, while they're not exactly playing like a player, they are spreading out and sometimes focusing in the way that a player would, even though that's random based on the way that the tiles have come out. Really went for getting the statues out into praising the gods and doing the temple this game. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Tekhenu. That's it from me. Bye, everyone.